What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy JPTHEGLOVE74 back with another video. Today I'm reacting to UFC fights that pissed off Dana White. I can name probably one time that Dana White got pissed off at an actual fight. Was that one fight with when Anderson Silva. I forgot who he fought, but I remember he was dancing around the octagon, barely not taking a punch, barely not selling, basically just not killing. And I heard Dan White just got really pissed off about that, and he went on the press conference and he just said that he never been embarrassed in his entire life, and he I mean he got so mad at that day. There's one fight that even made him more mad. Was that fight between George St. Pierre and John Hendricks. If you guys don't know, John Hendricks basically just dominated George St. Pierre. If you check out that fight, George St. Pierre's face was all messed up. He went through a cheese grater. And then both competitors went to a decision, and then it was ruled over to George St. Pierre, which I still think to this day is one of the worst decisions ever. I still think John Hendricks should have won that fight. He should have won that belt. But then Dan White came, and then Joe Walker interviewed George St. Pierre, and George St. Pierre said he had to hang up his glove for a little while because he had to go away for a little bit. So he hung up his glove, and it didn't sit well. It didn't sit well with Dan White. Dan White came on and just said that George St. Pierre he owes to the fans, he owes that belt, he owes that company, and he owed it to John Hendricks the opportunity to fight again. And he basically just went off on George St. Pierre. I do recall George St. Pierre saying that the moment he got done the press conference, they never gave him the belt back. So. Dan White's one guy you don't want to make mad. So we're gonna check out the fights that pissed him off. If this is your first time, this is your boy JPTHEGLOVE74. Be sure to follow me on Facebook by my real name, Jeremy Payne, and also follow me on Instagram. That is JPayne8037. And be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, JPTHEGLOVE74. And let's get into the video.
Just because he's the UFC president doesn't mean he's not without bias. And when Dana White feels a certain way about a fight, you better believe he's going to let the public know one way or the other.
Definitely.
As always, if you guys enjoy the video, please be sure to let us know by giving it a like and hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. And now, without further ado, and ranked in no particular order, here are 10 fights that pissed off Dana White. Anderson Silva versus Demi Maia. And what better way to kick things off than with one of the most infamously disappointing that's history. Not only was this bout the headliner of an important card for the UFC on pay-per-view, but this event was also crucial in their attempts to corner the Middle Eastern market. Their first official show in Abu Dhabi since the dawn of the Zuffa era. All was going according to plan, and all that remained was for the fights themselves to deliver. Unfortunately, the main event pairing between Anderson Silva and Demi Maia for the middleweight title was, well, a very strange and quite underwhelming contest. Silva obviously had respect for Maia's elite grappling, but as the bout wore on, the champion's antics basically ruined any amount of competitive tension as he tiptoed around any real
he did.
In the post-fight, Dana White slammed Silva for his performance publicly, even calling the main event an embarrassment.
I don't think I've ever been more embarrassed in the 10 years of being in this business.
Is this your lowest moment as president of UFC?
No doubt about it. Absolutely, 100%. I didn't go in.
Yeah, Dan White was pissed.
I'm embarrassed, and I feel like I should apologize to the fans, and I feel like I owe the fans one. What happened tonight was an absolute disgrace, an embarrassment for the UFC, an embarrassment for the sport, and I don't know if I've ever been more embarrassed than I am tonight.
Francis Ngannou versus Derek Lewis. And speaking of boring fights, Dana had already soured on Francis Ngannou following his one-sided loss to Stipe Miocic at UFC 220. But when the Predator attempted to make a comeback at UFC 226, things got even worse. Facing off against the hard-handed Derek Lewis, this bout was pointed to as a collision of two insanely powerful punchers.
Ooh!
That much power on the table.
Yeah, he's so powerful.
Going to hit the canvas, right? Well, not exactly. Unfortunately, practically nothing happened for the vast majority of the schedule.
Wow.
And when all was said said and done, Lewis was the one to somehow get the decision victory. Dana pretty much gave Lewis a free pass, though, due to his back injury, and instead went off on Francis Ngannou,
Oh, boy.
taking shots at his overblown ego and his handling of fame.
Thoughts on Francis Ngannou? I mean, he had so much momentum behind him going into the Stipe fight, shows the flaws in his game a little bit, then comes back and has this fight where he throws, 17 strikes the entire fight, something like that. Where do you feel a guy like that goes from here?
Horrible. I think that everybody was talking about him. I thought he was going to be the next guy. I think his ego ran away with him big time. I can tell you that his ego absolutely did run away with him. The minute that happens to you in the fight game, you start to fall apart. And this guy's ego just was so out of control. Ego is what hurt Francis Ngannou.
And it wouldn't be the last time that these two would butt heads. Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz.
Yep.
3. Chuck
Yep.
Liddell was a
I remember that. I
phenomenal
remember
champion
this.
and a good
I
friend
remember
to Dana
this.
during his time at the top of the sport. Tito Ortiz, on the other hand, despite once being
Yeah,
quite
Tito.
close to the
Yeah,
UFC
Tito and
president,
Dan White
is
did
now
not
one
like
of
each
his
other.
biggest enemies,
They did
and
not
a
like
guy
each
that
other.
Dana is always happy to take shots at if the opportunity presents itself.
Tito and I hated each other. You know how many times Tito fought that I wanted to see him just get his ass whooped? Every time he got beat, it was absolute fun for me.
So when Tito and Dana White's other nemesis, Oscar De La Hoya, announced that they were bringing Chuck Liddell out of retirement 8 years after his last fight to be served up on a platter for the much younger and in-shape Ortiz, Dana was obviously not happy.
Chuck's almost 50 years old. I love Chuck Liddell, and as a friend, I don't think he should fight. And anybody around him who cares about him
Chuck should
let
not
him
have
fight.
been there. He should not have been there.
The cokehead, Oscar De La Weirdo, is talking that I don't have any, place to tell guys when to retire. I don't tell friends when. First of all, it's called friendship, you cokehead. Chuck Liddell's almost 50 years old and has no business fighting anymore.
Yep.
When Tito went out there and TKO'd the Iceman and then proceeded to celebrate like he had just won UFC gold, yeah, this one was very easy to hate on.
Anybody who claims to be a friend of Chuck Liddell and was anywhere near this fight is full of they're not a friend of Chuck Liddell. I hope somebody talks De La Hoya into fighting again, and I hope he gets knocked out just like Chuck Liddell did in the first round.
Tyron Woodley versus Darren Till. Sometimes Dana White just isn't a fan of a champion. Other times he just gets dollar signs in his eyes when a bright new contender finally breaks through. UFC 228's headline match of Tyron Woodley versus Darren Till combined these two scenarios into one. Woodley was carving out an impressive reign atop the 170-pound division, but he wasn't exactly thrilling audiences.
First of all, I'm going to give the fans a chance to boo. Go ahead and boo and get out the way. There you go.
Darren Till was the young, brash, marketable prospect who had broken into the top 5 ahead of UFC 228, and it seemed like the promotion were well and truly behind him.
How excited are you about Darren as a prospect?
No, I'm excited. He's got all the attributes to be a big star. Stylistically, I love the matchup for Till.
But on fight night, Woodley proved a bridge too far, and after knocking Till down in the second round, he locked up a Darce choke and forced the tap. And you could just see how unimpressed Dana White was with the fact that Woodley was still on top. It didn't take long for him to start taking shots at the champion in the media once again.
Since you've left the octagon with your black belt and your title, have you spoken to Dana White?
I haven't spoken to him yet. Did he already come in here?
No.
He left. No, I haven't talked to him.
Tyron Woodley versus Demian Maia. So why did Dana White dislike Tyron Woodley so much? Well, if we were to try and take on the UFC president's perspective, well, on the one hand, you had his constant complaining in the media.
If I was a different complexion, I think people and fans would treat me a different way.
And on the other, you had performances like the ones he turned in against Stephen Thompson and Demian Maia. Highly tactical, but undeniably effective 5-rounders that saw the chosen one deal with 2 incredibly unique matchups. But when Woodley was finished stuffing takedown after takedown from Maia at UFC 214, Dana had nothing but harsh criticism for him and his low-output title defense.
What did you think watching that fight?
About watching what fight?
The Woodley fight and then beating Maia.
What did you think about watching the Woodley fight?
Oh.
The fight was anything but special. I don't even want to relive that fight in my head for another second. I mean, this sums it up. They broke a record tonight. The least punches ever thrown in the crappiest fight you've ever seen was 130 punches. They threw 60. That's how bad the fight was.
Not pleased with Tyron Woodley's performance?
They broke the record for the least punches ever thrown in a title fight. There's not much to be pleased with or to talk about. I mean, what really is there to talk about in that fight? When you get booed out of an arena, it means people don't want to watch you fight.
Some might have seen it as a champion adequately equally overcoming a very tough matchup. Dana was definitely embarrassed by the welterweight king on this night. Israel Adesanya versus Yoel Romero. Look, when you're fighting a genetic freak like Yoel Romero, you gotta manage your risk levels. But when Israel Adesanya decided to specifically call out Romero just so he could add this highly feared and avoided fighter's name to his resume, fans had every right to expect fireworks.
This guy right here is a guy that no one ever calls out. I want to test myself against everyone of this era who's a beast. And he's a beast, so I'm gonna test him.
I mean, why else would Izzy specifically call out Yoel Romero when he was coming off a loss? Well, as it turned out, Adesanya had no intention of fighting fire with fire, and instead, we were presented with one of the most boring title fights in UFC history. The last stylebender took home the win, but the fight was so low output that it could have frankly gone either way. Safe to say, Adesanya lost himself quite a few fans on this night, and Dana White could not help but be embarrassed by the low-quality main event he had so fiercely hyped up beforehand.
You were pretty pissed off in Abu Dhabi after the Anderson Silva-Demian Maia fight. Was your level of disappointment the same with this one as you were after that?
Yeah, this was a terrible fight. I mean, if you look at the UFC as a whole, for as long as we've been doing it, you can literally put in one hand shitty fights that we've done, you know what I mean? The matchmakers didn't love that fight and didn't want to make that fight, but the goofy fan in me said, are you shitting me? Come on, this will be a fun fight to do. Now, hindsight is 2020, probably shouldn't have done that fight and we should have waited for Costa, but oh well. I was shocked to see the way that he fought tonight. He had a rough night and he had a bad showing, and I don't know.
Dennis Holman versus Brian Ebersol. This next one is pretty simple.
Oh, I think I remember this. I think I remember this.
That is particularly relevant in the MMA history book, save for one particular reason. Holman decided to walk to the octagon and fight wearing a pair of Speedos. This was, of course, before the Reebok and later.
Oh, why? Why would he do that?
This choice of fight
why? Just why? Why would he do that? Yeah.
This choice disgusting.
The shorts on Dennis Holman, disgraceful? Would you say? I mean, how did you feel about that?
I'd call it disgusting. That was disgusting. For the first time ever, I'm giving out a thanks for getting those horrifying shorts off TV as soon as possible bonus. And I'm not joking. First of all, I'm pissed off that somebody that works for me let him come out with those on. Number one, it was not good. It will never happen again. I can guarantee you that. That's the last thing you want to be remembered for, is going out there and making people watch 5 minutes of that.
The fighter himself would later admit that he lost a bet, and that's why he did what he did. But the damage was already done. George St. Pierre versus Johnny Hendricks.
Yes, this one here. This one.
That doesn't mean that you're safe from Dana's wrath. And for George St. Pierre, a closely fought matchup against Johnny Hendricks left the world thinking that the great GSP had finally.
It was a good fight too. I'm not gonna lie. It was actually a good fight. It was actually a really good fight.
That wasn't the problem. No, the issue, as it relates to Dana, came when St. Pierre announced his retirement. Sport, effectively leaving the division without its champion and cheapening the belt in the eyes of the fans, given that he never officially lost.
I have a bunch of stuff in my life happening. I need to hang up my glove for a little bit.
And to say that Dana was not happy would be
he was heated.
Giving one of the mightiest
he was
champions a
pissed.
nice send-off, White turned on him in the post-fight press conference, slamming St. Pierre for walking away after a performance like that.
Did you see George get smashed and hurt in the first round? It's about damage. I want what's fair, and that wasn't fair. That decision that happens, right? You don't just say, hey, I'm going to take a while off, maybe I'll be back, maybe I won't. You owe it to the fans, you owe it to that belt, you owe it to this company, and you owe it to Johnny Hendricks to give him that opportunity to fight.
Yeah. Dan White just went hammer on George St. Pierre. He went hammer.
In the sport of mixed martial arts. And while from time to time seeing a stalemate in some lower prelim fight is to be expected, a draw in a title fight is not usually the best outcome. And when that title fight just so happens to be for a vacant championship belt, that's where things get truly messy. Jan Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev were tasked with bringing the 205-pound division into a new era in the absence of its injured champion Yuri Prohaska. But after 5 thoroughly disappointing rounds, Dana White was left totally furious at the lack of drive from these competitors.
What are you going to do? I think the main event was terrible. You know, what are you going to do?
Did you have anybody winning in the main event? Did you have it?
I don't even know. I started to zone out after like 3 rounds.
And the fact that it was ruled a draw left him in a uniquely awkward spot. Instead of running the fight back and trying again, White was so angry that he basically ruled both men out in the post-fight interview, giving Jamal Hill and Glover Teixeira the next shot at the belt instead.
What do you do now, right? I mean, vacant title, a split.
You do Glover versus Jamal Hill in Brazil for the vacant title.
Is that done?
Done.
Valentina Shevchenko versus
yes,
Priscilla Cachoeira.
yes.
And
This one,
finally, we come to the
this
bout
actually
that
made me
basically
mad.
ruined the
This
career
actually
of
made me
Mario
mad right here.
Yamasaki. Valentina Shevchenko was always going to be a handful at 125 pounds, but setting her up for a fight with Priscilla Cachoeira was never a good idea. In reality, it was a total mismatch, and Valentina proved that on many levels, dominating Cachoeira from start to finish, while doling out an insane amount of punishment. In fact, she landed 217 strikes to Priscilla's 1. And when Yamasaki was asked why he didn't stop, he was told that he wanted to give the underdog a chance to be a warrior. Needless to say, this infuriated Dana White.
He said that he was allowing Priscilla to be a warrior. What do you think about that statement?
I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting. I think he's disgusting, and I never want to see him reffing ever again. For that idiot to say that he gave her the opportunity to be a warrior, no, you moron. You're in there to protect her from herself. He makes me sick. That guy has no business reffing fights, and I promise you, you're not going to see him again.
Mario hasn't worked at a UFC event since.
That's right,
If you
yep.
guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to let us know by giving it a like and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
That right there, that fight loss was the reason Mario got fired. Like I'm just giving her a chance to be a warrior. That's not your job, Mario. Your job is to, like Dan White said, your job is to protect the fighters because she landed like 270 punches. 270 punches. That is insane. Like, I don't know why Mario didn't stop the fight. Oh, I want to give her a chance to be a warrior. Yeah. That was not right. That was not right. Anyway, Dan, like I said, Dan White's a pussy. It's a pussy you don't want to make mad. He's a pussy you don't want to be on his bad side. Like if you do something stupid, if you do something that make him mad, he don't mind going out to the public saying in front of the camera and just spill you. Like he would do that in a heartbeat. I'm not joking. Like if he says something Dan White that is not that he was not gonna be happy about, he's gonna let you know in front of camera, and he's gonna tell everybody. That's how he is. So yeah, don't make Dan White mad. Don't be on his bad side, people. Don't be on his bad side. This was a really good video. If you enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like and make sure you subscribe to my channel. This is your boy JPTHEGLOVE74. Do y'all have any UFC like fight moments or any Dana White moments that make you mad? Leave your comments down below. This is JPTHEGLOVE74 signing off. Hope you guys have a great day. God bless.